Hi everyone, Matt Watson here. So I've just bought this Gocycle GX folding electric bike, and in this video I'm going to tell you why I wanted one, put it through a series of challenges and give it a good old-fashioned reviewing. Right, let's start off by talking about the price. So this thing retails for £2,900, which, let's be honest, is quite a lot of money, even for an e-bike. But when you consider the build quality of the thing and the materials that are used, such as aluminium and magnesium for the wheels, it's actually a bit like the Bentley of e-bikes. And just like Bentley, Gocycle is a British company. Anyway, why did I want an e-bike? After all, I'm supposed to be a car guy, right? Well, when I'm not filming cars, I'm actually working in the office, which is in central London, and there's no way I want to be driving a car into central London. It's just horrible. Also, I don't particularly like public transport, so I thought an e-bike would be a really good solution. So I got one. As with other e-bikes, the way it works is simple. So you have an electric motor which assists your pedalling, and the motor is usually located in one of three places, either in the rear wheel hub, in the crank, or like on this one, in the front wheel hub. Tell you the truth, when I was first looking at e-bikes, I wasn't particularly keen on the idea of it being front-wheel drive because, you know, with cars, rear-wheel drive is always better than front-wheel drive, right? However, it's not really the case with e-bikes. You see, if you've got the drive at the back, you're still only one-wheel drive. When you've got the drive at the front from the electric motor, you're two-wheel drive because you're still driving the rear wheels. Also, because the electric motor isn't working with your pedaling, it doesn't feel so weird when the assistance comes in. It's more natural because you're always providing the same amount of power to the back wheels through your legs. And it does really work. I've tried both, prefer this. There's another benefit of having the motor at the front. You see, this bike has 3 gears, and if it had the motor in the back, then it would have to have a derailleur system to change the gears, whereas because it's in the front, there's space for a hub-mounted gear system. Also, it's all very neat and tidy, as you can see. In fact, the chain isn't exposed at all. There's no oil going to get on your clothes. It's completely maintenance-free. There are disadvantages to front-wheel drive e-bikes though. For instance, they add weight to the front wheel, which means it's not great when you're trying to get up curbs. Also, there's the fact that with a hub-mounted motor, if you need to change a tyre, it's a real nightmare to get the wheel off and sort it all out. And finally, there's the fact that basically when you're on a bike, most of the weight is over the back wheel, just the nature of the beast really. And that means you've got less traction at the front, so you can wheel spin easily like in a front wheel drive car, much more so than you can in a rear wheel drive car. And you don't want that happening when you're leant over in a corner. It's not a good thing. However, just like a modern car, the Gocycle has traction control to stop you spinning up your front wheel. Also, can you see this? Look, it has a single-sided fork. And at the back as well, look, it's got a single-sided arm. So you can actually remove the tyres if you have a puncture without having to take off the wheels. Then there's the fact that the wheels themselves are really light because they're made out of magnesium. The motor is light as well. It produces the same amount of power as a motor, twice its weight. Speaking of which, here in the UK, this Gocycle's motor can produce 250 watts of continuous power. Now that's the maximum allowed here in the EU. In America, it's allowed to produce 500 watts of continuous power. Why do they get more power? It's not fair. Now, 250 watts may not sound like that much, but this bike is actually pretty zippy, and it's enough performance to get you ahead of cyclists off the lights, which is really, really key. And to show you just how quick it is, I have my specialist timing gear here that I use when I'm testing the performance of cars. And what I'm going to do is see the acceleration of this bike when I haven't got any assistance on at all. See how long it takes me to get to 15 miles an hour, because 15 miles an hour is the maximum it's legally allowed to provide assistance up to in the EU. In the States, they can have assistance up to 20 miles an hour. So another win for them then. Anyway, let's get on with it and see what happens. Right, that's it set. No assistance. Let's go. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Oh. Oh, come on. Going as fast as I can. That should be it. Let's see if I did it. Right. Here we go then. So, it took me 7.9 seconds to get to 10 miles an hour and 12.4 seconds to get to 50 miles an hour, and I'm a bit out of breath. Right, so now I've turned on the assistance. Let's see what happens.
So, what are the scores on the doors? Oh my God. So 0 to 10 miles an hour, 2.7 seconds. 0 to 15, 4.7 seconds. So loads quicker and easier. There you go.
This punch off the line means you can get ahead of traffic safely away from the lights. Also, it means you don't get out of breath while doing it. Now, I used to actually cycle to work a couple of years ago, but I gave up for 3 reasons. 1, I hated turning up to the office all sweaty and needing a shower. 2, I was making bad safety decisions because I was always trying to maintain momentum. And 3, I did get a bit of cycle rage. I think the reason for that is that when your heart rate is up, you're just in fight or flight mode, and so you get a bit more aggressive.
Now I want to show you how this bike makes cycling just far less exhausting and sweaty. For me, this is what it's all about, really. So I've got a heart rate monitor on and I'm around 100 beats per minute. I'm going to cycle up a hill and see what my heart rate is at the top of it. So let's go. Normally, I wouldn't want to do this, but seeing as I've got assistance, I do not mind, because this bike essentially just flattens hills. One of the things I hate about cycling was going up hills. Some people like it because they're into like the hardcore challenge, but most people don't. The flat or downhill is the fun, and this bike makes everything seem flat. So there we go, coming to the top of the hill now. Super easy. I can concentrate on staying safe, and here we go. Let's see what my heart rate is. Not bad at all, just over 120 beats per minute. All right, now I'm going to do the same test up the same hill, but without any assistance from the bike. The bike is off, so it's just me pedaling alone. So let's see what we do in terms of my heart rate. This bike is 17 kilos in weight, which is twice the weight of a similar bike of this size without electrical assistance. Right, it's making it harder. I'm trying to go at the same pace. Also, this bike has quite thick tyres, so you've got a bit more rolling resistance than a road bike, but they do mean that it deals with bumps pretty well. I've got a bus behind me, so it's put me under pressure. Right, I'll just have to wait. I can't go as fast because I'm having to do all the work. Right, just pull over here, let the bugger past. Right, go on, off you go, sunshine. Look at that, 160 beats per minute. It's definitely harder work. I was probably going slower as well. So there you go, that's what it's all about. This is what I love, this bike. Don't have to feel like this. Whew. I need a break.
Now don't go thinking you won't get any exercise riding an e-bike, because you can use the Gocycle app to alter the amount of assistance you get from the motor, just so you can have it the way you want it. Alternatively, you can use one of their preset modes, and my favourite is city mode, because that gives you just enough assistance to make it nice and easy without rinsing through your battery too quickly.
Gocycle says this bike should be able to do 40 miles on a full charge. I've got a full charge, it says so on the app here, and I've actually put a destination into my satellite navigation of 4 miles away, which is 10% of the distance of 40 miles, which means that by the time I finish this, I should have 90% of charge remaining. That's the theory. Will it work out like that? Let's get and find out. So there we go then, I've done 4 miles. It says I've still got 100% of charge left. Now this does go down in increments of 10, so it's probably closer to 90, but it does mean that I have no reason to disbelieve their claim that it will do 40 miles on a charge. Interestingly, the amount of assistance I've had is 81%, whereas I've provided 19% of the power, and I haven't done nothing. I've actually burnt 124 calories. Didn't feel like it.
I actually rode the bike a little bit further, and after I'd done 13 miles, I had 80% of charge left. So if I do the maths, that works out to about 65 miles on a full charge at the rate I was actually using the bike. So that's pretty good really. Now to charge it, it'll take about 7 hours, and depending on your tariff, you're looking about 4p. That's the lowest you could probably get it for, which is super cheap really. Now, the problem is though, if you've got this around your flat charging, it takes up quite a bit of space, which is annoying if you've got a small place like me. Thankfully though, like I said at the beginning, this thing folds, and that's the beauty of it. And according to Gocycle, you can fold it down in 10 seconds. Now you might be able to if you're a black belt in bike folding, but yeah, this is how long it takes me. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So I undo this catch here. I think I do. Come on. Come on. That's probably 10 seconds already. Fold this round like that. There we go. Get the wheel level. Now I unclip this bit of rubber band, because what I'm going to do is undo the clip on the handlebars, and then this rubber band attaches to here to stop them flopping around. And now I have to remove the seat. There we go. And then you slide that through there like that. And then this goes into the seat post holder like that. And then that's neat and tidy. Last thing to do is the pedals, which fold down. Come on. And then that is that. And it was a lot longer than 10 seconds. Still, when you have folded it up, it is small enough to fit into a cupboard. Ta-da! It'll easily fit into a car's boot as well. When folded, this Gocycle is also small enough to fit into the luggage rack on a train, though you do have to be careful when you're lifting it because it weighs 17 kilos. So you could use it for working out. Yeah, look at those guns there, look at that. Now, by comparison, a normal Brompton weighs about 11 kilos, though their electric version is about 14, but 3 kilos lighter is quite useful when you're humping it around. One thing about the electric Brompton though is that you have to have its battery in a bag on the handlebars, whereas the one on this bike is inside the frame just there, which is just a much better solution. I also like this as well, look, so I can take the seat off there, put it back in there, and now if I need to walk any distance with it folded, I can just wheel the bike along like that. There we go, look at that. Oh yeah. Don't know why I'm doing this, but you get the idea. Whoop. Just dropped it. What an idiot. This bike's actually full of clever features, such as these little straps here on the handlebars, which you can use to mount your phone like that. And then you can just use maps for your satellite navigation, or just run the Gocycle app to see how quick you're going and how much charge you got left.
Also, the dimensions of this Gocycle are more like a traditional bike. The distance between the handlebars, the seat and the crank is about the same, so you never feel cramped on it. It makes it feel comfortable for longer journeys. Then there's the wheels, which are 20 inches in diameter, whereas normally on folders you get them as 16 inch in diameter, and they're just not quite as stable feeling. Bigger wheels are definitely better. In fact, overall this bike feels really, really stable and playful as well, so you can easily maneuver it in between traffic and round corners. It's very agile. And finally there's the boost button. So just underneath here, if I press this, I get a bit of instant assistance, so you can ride around in eco mode to save battery, but then if you encounter a big hill, you press that and it gives you full boost. If you're in America, you can actually ride this thing along pressing that button and it'll give you assistance without you having to turn the pedals at all. A bit like a motorbike then. However, you can't do that in the UK. You always have to be turning the pedals. It's the law.
There are some other things that annoy me about this bike in particular. So while the build quality is generally very, very good, this little bit here, which locates the saddle into the frame when the bike's folded, is a flimsy bit of plastic, and I've already broken one. Look, it's snapped quite easily. So I had to get a centre replacement. Sometimes when I change from first into second really quickly, it skips second and goes into third. Also, occasionally when I'm in third and then change down into second, there can be a delay. Don't know why that is. The brakes on this bike are brilliant. You get discs at the front and the back. Also, they've got plenty of power and lots of feel. The only problem is that this front brake seems to have a bit too much travel for my liking. Look, I can squeeze it all the way to the handlebar, whereas I can't with the rear brake. Which the front one was like this one. I don't find the seats particularly comfy, but then that's probably because I'm used to the seats in cars. Finally, there's the fact that some things that should be included as standard on a bike at this price are actually optional extras, like the mud guards. 40 quid for the front one, 40 quid for the rear one. Also, the integrated lights, they are really nice and very powerful, but they cost £110 for the set. Why? There are some accessories you would expect to pay extra for and are definitely worth buying, such as the fast charger. It's £120 and it will charge the bike in 4 hours. My favourite is the Gocycle bespoke front basket. So you use this mechanism here and it just goes over these notches like that. Then you put that bit into there, lock it into place, and it's as solid as a rock, and it means you don't have to have a backpack. This costs 150 quid and it's well worth it. Do I look like a total helmet?
Overall, I love this Gocycle. You know, it's not perfect, right? It's expensive as well, but it is really well made. It's one of the best made e-bikes I've ever seen, and definitely the best made folding e-bike. It's actually made me fall in love with cycling all over again, and it's cycling where I actually don't have to do much of the work, which is perfect.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know what you think of this bike in the comments box below, and maybe suggest some other things you'd like to see me review. Also, if you'd like to see more videos, then you can click on the windows. There's one about my 60 mile an hour mental radio control car, another one about my silly little Fiat 126. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to turn your notifications on so you're alerted when I make a new upload. Thanks for watching.